Hello and welcome back to the Peak Endurance podcast.
That's right, yeah.
My God, I almost said Peak Endurance Coaching, but whatever. Same. You know what we're talking
You're
about.
just reading.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I'm Isobel Tait, and I have with me my co-host,
Ron Tait.
Ronald Tait.
No, Ron Tait.
Yes, indeed. All right. I always try to think up a funny gag to get us off to a fine
You didn't
start.
go well then because that wasn't funny.
That was crapola, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Yes, indeed. And I'm a little bit warm in my long sleeve top, so I've opened the window next to us. So if you see the curtain billowing, that will be why. That's if you're watching the YouTube.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're a day late. We normally like to record on a Thursday, but I had a massage,
Yes.
so we didn't have time.
No.
By the time I got home from the massage, it was like 6:15, and I was far too hungry.
That's right. That's almost getting dinner time.
Yeah, almost like hello. Well, had to wait for you to come home.
Yeah, by the
with
time I
dinner.
got home from the supermarket, then it was
Yes,
dinner time.
that's right. Yes. Some of us, got to do the hard
Yeah,
yards,
that's right.
get the massage, those sorts of things.
That's right. While the other one takes it easy and goes to the supermarket.
That's right. But, then I had to cook dinner. I had to slave
You
over
did.
that hot stove.
Well, next to it, because you weren't actually cooking anything.
No,
But you were standing next to it.
We got the roast chook from Woolies, and it always burns my fingers pulling that bastard apart. Let me tell you, you've got the easy job making the salad.
Make the salad. That's right.
We get a nice Caesar salad mix, and it's yum scrum in some wraps.
Yep.
And we have that every Thursday night, and the second half of the chook with another Caesar salad the Friday night, because we are that boring.
We are that boring. We know what we like.
Yeah, and we stick to it.
Yeah. Keep
it
simple.
And I love it every time. Yeah. Every time I'm like, oh, this is so yummy.
Sometimes we mix it up, like we get a different salad, and it's like having a gourmet wrap.
No. Then I feel FOMO. It's like, I didn't have my Caesar salad. It's not the same. You don't agree?
We're pretty simple souls.
Yes, very simple. Yes, indeed.
So what have we been doing lately?
Running
and navigating. We've been heading into the bush.
Yes, and doing lots of off-trail work.
Yeah.
So yes, having a bit of fun in that regard. I've been hitting the hills as per usual. I go out on Lyrebird and I do so many reps, people take photos with me.
That's happened twice now.
Yes. They get selfies with me, and I'm like, you don't know who I am. I'm just some fucking idiot.
Random people that see us, or see you in particular, walking up and down the hill, up and down the hill, up and down the hill. Yeah. They probably post on their socials. Saw the crazy lady today.
Yeah. Well, because you weren't with me Sunday because you went, I'm not doing this again. I suggested that you go for a run because you would have come with me. You'd have done them and you'd have hated it. But I said, if it was me, I'd go for a run and meet me there. And you went, oh, thank the Lord.
So I went for a run around the different trails.
Yeah, and you met me you only did one with me.
One, that's right.
And then you went, nah, I'm just going to go a different way and you can do another, because I still had another one to go.
So I took a different way home, back to the car and sat down and had a drink while Isobel finished off her Lyrebird repeats.
Yeah, so that was... I did 6.
Yeah.
So 18 or 19, 18-ish Ks with, oh God, I'm getting tired just thinking about it. Sorry, with just over 1,500 meters climbing, which I did again on Wednesday, but I did them faster, and I did 10 times 3-minute hill repeats, obviously a flatter hill because I only got 400 meters, runnable hill on Tuesday. So then on Thursday, I ran on the flat, and I was like the Tin Man because my legs didn't know how to run on the flat anymore. They'd forgotten.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So I ran on the flat again today, and it felt a bit better. Probably the massage helped too. But it's been, I'm doing like 20 to 25 hours of running. Then we do strength work. Then I go to yoga. It was quite funny in yoga today. I was reflecting upon, not reflecting, I was like, making excuses, essentially. Like we have to do this where you swing your arms around and you come down to, into purpose and bring my arms around, and all I can hear is clunk, clunk, and it really hurts. And I'm making these faces because my shoulders hurt from one I've dislocated previously, the broken one that I broke once, which was kind of in a really bad spot, is the worst, and I'm like, oh, that really hurts. Then, we get done and we have to kneel. Oh, no, I can't kneel properly because I've got a torn meniscus. Then we have to do forward folds. I'm like, oh, I can't forward fold properly from when I fractured a vertebrae. And then it's
seeing some kind of
theme
here,
yeah. And then I'm like on the floor and one of my toenails fell off.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, I'm just a mess, like the accidents over the years. And I thought, what it tells me? I've got a well-used body.
You're getting every ounce of use.
I am. I'm fucking, and I'm not going lightly, treading lightly to the grave. I'm, what they say, screeching in sideways.
Screeching in sideways with your hair on fire.
That's it, pretty much. Because if there's, oh my God, it was like, I can't do it because I've broken nearly all of the useful joint bones that I've got. And it's no wonder, I'm just walking down the street and people go to me, oh, you're limping. What's wrong? I'm like, I'm not limping. That's just me.
It's just what I do.
So, yeah. And then when the toenail fell off, that was just like, yup. It's just solidified.
What did you do with it?
We just tucked it under the mat so people couldn't see it. But then I forgot about it. I forgot
so
to
it's still
collect
sitting there.
It's still there.
Well, for the next person.
Yes.
Pick it up and go, what is that?
Potato chip.
It smells like cheese.
Cheese and onion chips. Oh God. So yeah, that was my thoughts in yoga. And I'm like, holy moly, the fact that I'm still actually running is a freaking miracle. Yes. So, and it's part of it. It's not just that I'm getting older, it's that my body has been through the goddamn ringer from mountain biking and running, because they're not all running injuries. One of the shoulders and the broken back was cycling. So quite a, like you with your knee issues. That's from hockey. It goes to show you don't get injured sitting on the couch.
No,
you do actually, but you don't feel like you do. So it's a life well lived.
Yeah, that's right.
I think, Yeah. So anyway, that was my I don't know whether it was a reflection or just realization or just whatever, or regret. But yes, and that's why runners who start running later in life or who've never done really any sport can be so fresh for so long, is because they haven't ruined their body when they were younger, like some of us have.
Yeah.
So Anyway, so what we're going to talk about is cross training.
Cross training.
Things you can do when you're injured, or if you are, God, what's the word? I've forgotten the word. If you're susceptible. To injury, like if every time you try to increase your mileage you get injured, then it's probably good to do some cross training. Now, when we talk cross training, I'm not talking yoga. You're not going to get fit for running from yoga. That's supplemental training. That's training to keep mobility and balance so that you can be a better runner. I'm also not talking strength training. That's not going to get you fitter for running. Strength training will help you not get injured for running. Therefore, it's supplemental. It complements your running, just like the yoga. All righty. So when we're talking cross training,
it's basically what you're replacing running with. So
it's got to be,
a couple of basic options. Cycling.
So essentially it's got to be another activity that makes you huff and puff.
That's probably the number one.
Yeah, I would say cycling is one of the best ones. We've got elliptical, we've got pool running, we've got swimming, but quite frankly, most runners are pretty crap swimmers, and therefore, and that's I'm not casting aspersions, but we don't have enough fat on our body, so we tend to sink like stones. And also, runners are not known to be the most coordinated people necessarily on the planet, hence why we're runners and not gymnasts. So we don't always have the best coordination. And so, because you're struggling so much with technique, you don't get much of a fitness workout. So I would see swimming more as active recovery. But if you come from a swimming background and you're a good swimmer, then yes, swimming could be cross-training because you know how to swim well enough to get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
I don't. The only reason my heart rate gets up is because I think I can't breathe. And I think I'm dying and I'm worried I'm going to drown.
Panic attack.
Yeah, it's a panic attack rather than a workout.
Yeah.
So, that's, and I reckon, and guys, post about this in the Peak Endurance podcast, or reply to if I put out a post for this, or comment on the Spotify. You can comment on Spotify. Are you the same? Do you find swimming is like so difficult? Anyway, so
for a while when I was having lots of ankle issues, before I took on a coach, I couldn't run much, so I was swimming quite a lot.
But you also came from a bit of a swimming background.
I've swum. I mean, I was a lifeguard when I was younger, and I've always swum. The thing that I didn't enjoy about swimming was the constant
stinking of chlorine,
and having a blocked nose, like a snotty.
Yeah, but you get that all the time.
Yeah, but the chlorine made it worse.
Yeah, but that's you. Not everyone has that, but a lot of people are not allergic to the chlorine, but what's the word? Whatever, not allergic, but aggravated by it. So that's fair.
Yeah. But as swimming as a pastime or an activity, I do enjoy it. I don't do it much anymore because I don't have the time. I'd rather run.
And do you know what the other thing I hate about swimming is? Swimming along and counting the disgusting floaty band-aids in the water.
You haven't
and seeing the loogies.
Trust me, you haven't seen anything until you've seen a swimming pool first thing in the morning before anyone gets in it, when everything's settled to the bottom. I used to work at the indoor swimming pools at Moorabbin, and when you had the early morning shift, you'd go in there at 6 o'clock in the morning. No one's been in the pool,
and everything's settled. Vacuum or something?
No, it's everything. Like they have a filter, those big filters on the side. So when things float up, they come out. But once they've settled, to the bottom overnight with no water movement,
you'd see it all.
Oh, it's all, they see everything on the bottom of the pool.
Oh, see, no, gross.
And the indoor pool seemed to be much worse than the outdoor pool. I don't know why, but it did.
Because I remember as a kid going to the Baldwin pools, the outdoor pool, and it was always clean. But then whenever I go to indoor ones and I'm like swimming along going, and there's water going across my mouth, and I'm looking down, I'm like, I'm going to vomit. This is so gross. Anyhow, so yeah. But in saying that, pool running, but it's okay with pool running. You don't have to put your head in the water. So you need a flotation belt. I actually write programs for athletes, who are returning to running after an injury. I get a lot of athletes coming to me after they approach Peak Endurance Coaching saying, I've had such and such injury. Can you get me back into running? And that some of the injuries and health issues are totally unrelated to running.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like I tore my meniscus, yoga, know somebody who, a client, an athlete of Zoe's who tore her hamstring playing pickleball. So, accidents happen, and so you sometimes need to cross-train. So I did pool running, as I bang on about all the time, for 6 weeks following a stress fracture, 2 stress fractures at the same time. I did it 6 days a week and it was fine and it kept my fitness. So, but the thing is, you have to work hard. You have to huff and puff. And cycling, have you done? You haven't? Yeah, no, you're not a cyclist.
No, I'm not a cyclist.
No. See, I come from a cycling background, so I know how to cycle. Like at one point I had another injury. It actually ended up being nothing much and was fixed like that. It was just a hamstring sort of tendinopathy. I had 3 months off and I ended up really getting into the cycling. I got a coach even, and I did a 12-hour race and came second in that. And my legs were like so strong after that. And I huffed and puffed and I worked hard. Once again, I was training 6 days a week, either on the bike trainer or on the real bike. But if you're susceptible to injury, you don't have to give up running. Instead of doing 6 days a week running, or even 5 days, you could replace 1 or 2 sessions with cross training.
Yep.
And still doing strength work and yoga, of course.
That's right. So long as whatever you're doing is getting your heart rate up and you're breath blowing
Huffing
hard,
and puffing.
huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
It's all good. That's good for the body.
Yeah, that's right. That's working the same as running.
Yeah.
And with cycling, you can do things like standing intervals, which really mimics running. Of course, when I had stress fractures, the reason I didn't do cycling was I wasn't allowed to put any pressure on the legs. So I was only allowed to spin super light. So that was completely pointless. But you've got to be able to put, so this would be something that you can do when you're not injured, is standing. And I also like to give athletes who have cycling as supplemental training or, extra cross training, is single leg drills, because running is a single leg sport. So I'll give them drills where they have to unclip one foot and then spin with the other one. And you realize when you're only working with one leg how crap you are at controlling one leg, because you're meant to sort of spin in a circle and you realize you're just stomping up and down, and it really teaches you how to control the leg through the hamstring, through the quad, through the calf, everything. So it's actually really good for runners to get on a bike and do single leg drills. And I'll get them where they have to spin for 30 seconds and then they swap legs, spin the other one. And if you don't clip in, if you don't have clip in pedals, even just, you really do need something to strap your foot in, though. You can't just have it sitting on a flat pedal.
A piece of string?
If you're desperate. If you're bodgy, if you're MacGyver.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you're, what is it? Jerry built, isn't it? Yeah. So, single leg drills and that sort of stuff, that will help strengthen you for running. And you intersperse that with just normal sort of intervals that will help. Also doing standing intervals. I used to, when I was doing cycling, sometimes when I was injured, I would sit on the bike pedaling, but also swinging my arms as if I was running. So my legs, I'd be doing it as fast as if I was running and pretending that I was running, watching running on YouTube to really get in the mood. And it almost felt as good as running. Not quite.
If you really imagined hard,
yes.
You could almost imagine yourself running.
Yes, except I was indoors. So, you can also use things like elliptical. A lot of people use elliptical. I'm not a huge fan. It's really hard to get your heart rate up. I would almost use elliptical more as active recovery, maybe for your easy days. Replace an easy run with that and still try to get your heart rate up a bit, a little bit, like it would be for an easy run. But it's really, there's something about the elliptical, it's really hard to get your heart rate up, and it's as boring as batshit. Oh my God. I reckon.
I've never really spent much time on it.
Don't.
Machine.
I reckon pool running is better, more enjoyable than an elliptical.
Because at least then you've got the old ladies to talk to.
Yeah, you got the old chooks, to talk about.
With their flowery caps.
That's right. Doing
their water aerobics.
Yes, and hear about their grandkiddies. And I got to know all the oldies. They were lovely. They were really, really nice. They're probably all dead now.
That's right.
I mean, when you think about it, because that was, well, maybe they're not. I'm probably exaggerating that. So that was probably 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. So, yeah, they'd still be alive. Sure, they were probably in their 50s, and I thought they were old. Right. Yeah.
They're probably 54 years old.
Yeah, probably. And I'm like, look at the oldies. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, no, because, I was possibly in my 30s even. Anyway, I don't know. It was a bloody long time ago, 100 million years ago in a different lifetime. But, yeah, so if you're talking about cross training, we are talking about activities that gets your heart rate up. Strength training and yoga are not cross training, because it's not giving you any of the benefits of running. It is giving you benefits, but not the same as running.
Yep.
What do you love the most about yoga, Ron?
I love the fact that I don't have to go, basically. I went once, didn't like it, didn't go back.
I dragged him along. I'm always going to friends. They go, do you want to meet for a coffee? I'm like, why don't you come to yoga with me? And they always come once. And then that's it. And they're like, nah, hated it. I'm never going again.
No, I could do maybe,
because it's hot yoga as well, folks.
Yeah, I could do maybe 5% of the poses or whatever you call them.
As with my,
and even then, like, mine didn't look anything like everyone else's.
I don't either. Like I said, especially with my knees, shoulders, back, I'm the klutz of the group. Even one the other day, I went on Tuesday, and at the end she goes, the instructor, we all went out, and she goes, oh, Isobel, what's wrong with your knee? because she could see that I was being super careful. And I said, I've got a torn meniscus, it's an old injury. It's just flared up because of all the hills I'm doing.
Yeah.
But, and she's like, I could see she freaked out a bit, but, I didn't want to tell her I did it in yoga all those years ago. But, yeah, I mean, it's just flared up a bit. It's under control. I'm seeing a physio, doing all the right things. Before this podcast, I did my exercises. I said, we're not doing the podcast until I've done my exercises, and I'm doing them every day. I'm not going to do them tomorrow, though.
No, you don't need to do them.
Why am I going to be a slack ass tomorrow?
Oh, because, I don't know, you're doing a small, easy run.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of an easy double mega saw.
Yeah, we discussed this
last pod.
Yeah, but we discussed what to call it.
Yes.
Because the run itself is called the mega saw.
Well, the run itself is called the saw.
The saw.
The mega saw is going out and back.
Yeah.
But no one would ever do the saw one way, because how do you get home?
Yeah,
well, you can't. I mean, I've done it before, which was when I dislocated my shoulder the first time I did the saw. And of course, I was coming down Ashes Hill. So I was only halfway through. So I finished the run and then ran back. And to be fair, I didn't go see a doctor for a week or so because I thought I was being a saw. But that's the saw. Then it's the mega saw. Then I just called it, when I did 3, the triple saw. What are we going to call it then? Have you had a brilliant idea?
No. Oh. Well, the super mega saw. No, because the quad saw, I don't know, it doesn't sound impressive.
All right, I'm going to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT what we should call it, the font of all knowledge.
So basically, a double mega saw. The mega saw being the out and back is 26 to
27 Ks, depending what the GPS gives you on the day.
And
just over 2,500 meters climbing. The triple saw gave me 42 Ks and 3,800 meters climbing. So the quad saw will give me approximately 52 to 53 Ks.
Yeah,
54 Ks.
Yeah.
Plus around about 5,000 meters climbing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
and should take it will take more than 12 hours because it took me, I did a mega saw on Friday, and that took me 5 hours and 43 minutes just doing the mega saw.
Yeah.
Right. But because I'm going to do it, and I was pushing it because I wanted to do it faster than I did it 6 years ago, and I did by a minute. Woo, go me.
Big minute.
Yeah, but that's the difference between being in my 40s to being in my 50s.
Yeah.
And that was huge for me. Like, that was a real accomplishment.
Yep.
So, especially because last time I did like that, I hadn't been training as hard as I am now. So it's going to take me, I would hazard a guess, 12 to 13 hours.
That's right.
Especially when I lose the will to live on the last one.
And there's going to be a few more eting stops because, you're going to have to.
You can get away with eating a bit less when it's only the mega saw. Yeah. I still ate well on that. But I'm going to have to eat a whole heck of a lot more. Yeah. And, but I don't want to stop too much. That's what I said to you, because we go to sky high. I don't want to stop too much.
Yeah. So, and I'll try and do just the mega saw.
Yeah.
The weather's a bit cooler. Last time I tried to do the mega saw and got halfway through the second loop or not even halfway, and just gave it up because I was too hot and I was cooked.
Yeah. That was when I did the triple saw, wasn't it? Yeah.
Being a bit cooler tomorrow, I'll give the mega saw another go. And then from then on, I'll just crew Isobel. I'll meet her at certain spots.
Yeah.
Give her a rah-rah and, send her on her way. And
food, yeah.
I'll go and get some proper
Maybe
food.
You can do a bit of a video and post it to socials even, or something, so people can see me in my hour of need.
Yes, in all your glory.
Yeah. So, if for something like that, if you can't get out to the hills, for instance, your cross training could be on the Stairmaster. Or you could hike on a treadmill on an incline. And, because a lot of the gyms only get to 15%, which isn't that awesome. So you could even put a weighted vest on to make it a little bit difficult. These are all cross-training methodologies that will help you with your running. So it doesn't just have to be that you're, susceptible to injury or that you are injured. It could be that you're trying to train in creative ways for your race so that you can achieve your goals, but you don't necessarily have access to the trails or the things that you need. So that's other ways like of cross-training for hilly races.
Rollerblading.
Rollerblading, just like cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
Yes, rollerblading, they're really good.
See, in a lot of northern countries, they supplement their running with skiing.
During winter.
Yeah, during winter with skiing.
Cross-country skiing and skimo and all that.
Yeah, and obviously in Australia, we don't really have that option.
We don't need
We've got
to.
some skiing, but it's too hard to access on a regular basis.
Yes.
So rollerblading, and you can get, like the speed style rollerblades that help you go a bit faster. They're a bit more stable.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to say faster is scary.
No, they're a bit more stable. They're like roller cross-country skis. They're more stable.
And so good for your leg strength. My golly, and ankle strength and everything. Like really, really good.
Yeah, if you haven't skated, you've never felt quad burn quite like it.
Yes, that's right. It really is. Yeah. So, and these are all ways that you can work on your fitness for running without actually running. And that's what we want the cross training to be, working on your fitness for running without actually running. And that's what you can do if you need to replace some of your sessions. If you need to do, if you've got a huge race coming up and you probably should be doing double sessions of running, running in the morning, running in the evening, but doing that would injure you, then run in the morning, cycling at night kind of thing. Okay, which I know a lot of athletes do. And a lot of ultra athletes also use rowing. That's another really good one. It's really good for leg strength and your posture, your back and shoulder strength. You think about your back and shoulders, you want that to be strong for carrying your pack, for using poles.
And it's very cardio.
Very cardio based. Yeah. I mean, when we were doing it at Body Fit, we were huffing and puffing, like when I was doing it right and really getting into it instead of going, oh God, this is naff. When I finally figured out how to do it correctly, my God, my heart rate went up, and I loved it. It was so much fun because you can set it up so you're racing another little boat on there, and it was really fun. And before the first time I went to Barclay, I would be training in an altitude room, 4,500 meters on the rower. And I tell you, that was a bloody good workout. I'd go the rower, I'd go on the bike, I'd go on the treadmill, and all that cross training. I was still running normally and I had no injuries. So it was more for, extra training without extra pounding, and also being able to train in a altitude thing, because I'm not big on the treadie. So, I was doing a lot of cardio in that way. And that's the thing. It's just a great way of getting some extra cardio in, and it makes you a better all-round athlete. Runners were very much in one plane, just running like this. But, getting on a bike, well, it's the same plane, isn't it? So is rowing, essentially. But at least you're moving your body in slightly different ways. That's why doing yoga as supplemental training is good, because it gets you out of that plane. Like, you're doing different movements. That's why I like to do yoga. It's not just for the mobility, and it's not really for flexibility at all. It's not a stretch. It's balance, it's mobility, and it's moving my body in a completely different way. Whereas cycling and rowing do tend to be, very similar. But it's still good to do something else. I don't consider the assault bike a good workout, because the assault, but that's the one with the handles and the, you can't do that for very long, right? It's not like a normal bike trainer that you can do an actual workout where I give athletes, VO2 workouts, lactate threshold workouts, fartlek workouts, all kinds of workouts on the bike. With the assault bike, it's either hard or not hard.
Yeah.
And they're fine for CrossFit or High Rocks or whatever it is, but they're not really, a 10-minute workout on that is not going to help your fitness for running. It needs to be something that you can get fitter for running. Now, with cycling, if you're on the bike trainer, time for time is equal. Okay. An hour on the bike trainer is equivalent to an hour running. However, if you are cycling on the roads or the trails, you need to double your cycling time to your running time to account for the fact that you are coasting down hills and those sorts of things. Okay.
Stopping at lights.
You stop at lights running too. It's the coasting and how easy it is on the flat. Whereas on the trainer, you can crank it up so you're working the whole time, and between intervals, yeah, sure, you recover, but that's like running too.
Yeah.
So on the bike trainer, time for time is equal. If you're cycling outdoors, you've got to double the amount of time, which is why I tend not to do cycling outdoors as cross training, because it just is too time consuming.
Yeah.
Says me doing a 12-hour run.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why I gave up cycling and took up running, was because, cycling takes far too long. I'm going to take up running. That's way more time efficient. Yeah, nah.
No.
Not once you become an ultra runner.
No, not once. Yeah, when you do what you do.
And to be fair, I'm not advocating for people to do 12-hour runs. I would not normally do that myself. What I'm trying to do is get in the elevation, and that this race I'm doing is particularly challenging and difficult, and I need to put myself in particularly challenging and difficult situations to harden me mentally.
Yeah.
And harden me physically. I would not normally recommend this at all, and I wouldn't normally do this kind of training. I'm just trying to change my training this time to really, really get super tough.
Yeah.
So I've never trained this hard before, ever, this long, and have I? You've never known me to do 12.
Not even when you did your 290-kilometer FKT.
That's right. My longest run for that was 60 Ks, and admittedly tomorrow's not going to be 60 Ks, but it was just a normal 60 K that took a normal amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. But this is something different, and it's huge, and it means a lot to me. So I am going in guns a-blazing.
That's right. Leaving nothing left on the desk.
Leaving nothing, and knowing that when I get to the start line that I have given it my all.
Yep.
Whatever the outcome of the race, that I have given it my absolute all.
Yep.
And so that I can be proud of that. And, a lot of people struggle with giving it your all in training, because then if they go shit in the race, it's like, well,
you've just wasted all that training.
Well, and not just that, but if I gave my all in training and I went shit, what does that say about me?
Yeah.
But ultimately I need to know that I've, dotted every I and crossed every T.
Yep.
Okay. So that's that. But yes. And that's why, to be honest, I don't have time for cross training.
No, you don't.
What with, 2 strength sessions a week. I've been to yoga 3 times this week. 6 million hours hiking, run hiking and running.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough.
And a massage.
Because honestly, my poor body, I'm getting in the recovery boots nearly every night.
Yeah.
Got the red light therapy going crazy. It's almost dead. I think I've killed it.
Worn it out. The second one.
Yeah, that's right. Holy moly. So yeah, we're certainly, I'm leaving nothing on the table. That's 100% right. And you know what? When you commit to something, you really should commit to it and do your absolute best. Don't get to the start line and go, if only I'd done all my training, or if only I'd put in a little bit more effort. When I'm on the start line, I'm going to know there's nothing more I could have done. And if I don't do well,
it's not
chances are it won't be unusual.
Yeah.
So, So that's that. A big day tomorrow.
Yep.
I've been carbing up today.
All right. It's nearly 5:30 in the afternoon, and
I'm not hungry.
It's just about our bedtime because we're getting up early in the
Saturday morning. And what time's the alarm set for?
4:45.
4:45, feeling alive. Or not.
I won't be at 4:45, that's for sure.
Right, Brussels sprout. So yes, got lots to look forward to. So I should be home in time for dinner.
Yep.
We still haven't established that, because I'm tipping, like I said to Ron yesterday, I'm tipping I'm not going to feel like eating much, but I have to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm tipping, that's why I said maybe a steak, because lots of protein. I will need a lot of muscle regeneration to go on. And I'm still in 2 minds about what to do Sunday.
What? Not 6 Lyrebird repeats?
Well, I'm thinking
maybe
some Lyrebird repeats.
Yeah. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly.
People, if you're in Melbourne and you're ever at a loss over the next few weeks on a Sunday, come out to Lyrebird. Join us.
Join us, yes.
We're generally there around, I am.
Yeah.
Around 8:30.
Yeah.
Depending on whether I've slept in or not. But, when it's hot, you don't want to get out too much later than that.
No.
8:30. But I'm out there for so long, I'm always going to go into the heat. So it's like, whatever. 8:30, and you'll see me marching up and down.
And down and up and down and up and down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes,
we
indeed.
did. We were escorted up the hill by a lovely
San.
Yes,
San?
a lovely
San?
gent called San.
Yes, he was really nice.
Yeah, who talked the whole way up. I'm not quite sure.
Oh my God. And I'm deaf in one ear, but I did not have a problem hearing him, which was really good, because too many people, they'll talk and I'm like, I have no fucking clue what they're saying, because if I'm working hard, my hearing gets even worse. But no, he was very clear in his.
He was, yeah. And then he tried to run with us back down again.
Yeah, but he was on the phone half the time talking to someone else.
And didn't quite keep up with us on the way back down.
Yeah, he took a photo of us too.
Yes, he took a photo. Well, no, he did. He took a photo of you, and then he let me join in as well.
I think he felt bad. And his daughter was coming down the hill at one point and he practically smacked the phone out of her hand.
She was walking down on her phone and he was quite cross with it.
Oh, it was so funny.
And then she started giving him some lick back as well.
Such a teenager. And we're just like, it certainly entertained us, didn't it?
It certainly did.
It made it go a lot quicker, which was great. And we're always up for people chatting with us. And then when I was out there the following Sunday, I saw some other Asian guys that we'd spoken to, these older Asian guys, and they were like, oh, he's not with you today. And I'm like, nah, he's being slack. And they thought that was hilarious. But, everyone is so lovely out on the 1,000 Steps on Lyrebird. That's what I love.
We regularly see the same people.
The same people, yeah. And, it's really nice. And, and they're lovely. So, yeah, it just adds to that community vibe.
It does.
All right. So get out there, get cross training if that's what you feel you need. And just know that cross training is not, at an admission of defeat. It doesn't mean you're not going to do well in your running. Like I said, I did 3 months of mountain bike training and I had some bloody awesome races. I can't remember what they were, but I do remember I won a few after because my legs were so strong for uphill. And I was like, oh my God, so strong.
And you have said before, after your pool running, you finished that feeling, that you hadn't lost any fitness.
I didn't feel like I'd lost
6 weeks of not being able to run.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I'd lost any fitness. And then I did, a run walk program to get back into running, but I kept doing the pool running as well, and I did some racing after that, and it almost had refreshed me. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's good to just have a break from running and just do something completely different. Says me who hasn't had a break. That's what COVID did, was it made me not take a proper break, and I've kind of gotten into that terrible habit now. But I'm certainly at the end of this year, I want to take a good 3 months off running.
You got some big...
I've got some big goals for this year. We'll see if they all happen.
Some of them are still...
But I've already got 3 races. Yep. So we've got, my race coming up. We've got Isle of Skye in Scotland, 75 miles. Yep. Then we've got Ultra Adelaide, 100-miler. And we love Ultra Adelaide. Yes. Aren't we always banging on about how awesome that race is?
We've done the 50K, the 100K. I'm not doing the 100-mile.
And I've done the 100K twice. Because I did it as one of my 100Ks as well. And we'd done it before.
No, that was, we did the 50K and then the 100K I did with you as part of your thing.
Okay.
So we've done the 50, the 100, and now Isabel's doing
the 100-miler. Woohoo! So come along. We got, Emma and Grant to come along. It was awesome.
It's a great course.
There's something about it I just love. And Sean puts on a great race with a great community atmosphere. And so get on the Ultra Adelaide train. Yeah. Toot toot. Yep. Join us.
It's a lovely drive across to Adelaide.
So. Yeah, it's a lovely drive when I have a nice snooze, except for all the fucking potholes.
Yeah. But then once you get out of Victoria, it's not so bad.
It's not as bad, no. Thanks, Dan. So, got that. Then I am on the 1st of Feb, I'm going to put my name in the hat, in the ring, whatever, for the lottery for Tour de Giant again. We will see. I don't know. Probably won't get in. Well, no, I'm actually pretty confident I'll get in. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling. I can feel it in my waters.
Oh dear.
It's a vibe.
I might want to see someone about that.
Yeah. Well, you might, because you'll be worried if I'll get in. So I've really got a good feeling. And my friend in Canada, Fanny, is going to be entering too. So we're really hoping, because we want to stay, share accommodation and do all that stuff. And so I really want to get into Tour de Géant, but I've applied before and I didn't get in, but
you can only try again.
I can only try again.
Yep.
And it comes at a very, very cheap price of €1,000. So I'll have to stump that one up. My credit card is going to be weeping.
The credit card is it's gonna commit suicide, I think, at some point.
It's just so overworked. Oh God. But that's what credit cards are for, aren't they?
That's right. Yeah.
Like, seriously, isn't that why God made them?
It is, exactly.
That's why he invented them.
The €1,000 races. That's exactly why.
I actually think it's quite good value, as I've discussed with you, the amount of support you get and the awesome bag you get, just the support and everything.
It's not an aid station where you might get some watermelon, some oranges, a banana, and some lollies.
And that's right, with grumpy, but no, it's everything. And, a lot, and medics and massage and sleep stations, and, and it's a tough race. So I can only imagine how expensive the insurance is, although it's Europe, so they probably don't give a fuck. But, all the same.
Yeah, it's not only Europe, it's Italy as well.
That's right. That's right. So, but, let's hope, fingers crossed, I get in for that, because, I really need to get onto frequent flyers thingies. But I just choose the airline that has the cheapest price. I don't want to always stick to the one.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll fly anything as long as it fucking doesn't crash.
But then how do you know?
I don't know. I'll be dead. What will I know? So I choose the cheap ass shit airlines, and everyone goes, "Oh my God, I wouldn't go with them." I'm like, I'm going with them.
What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. What's the worst? I die, and so then it must have been my time.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't exactly, get the most, but I've been on some of them and they've been awesome. So you never know what you're going to get. Life is like a box of chocolates.
It sure is.
Yep, indeed. So all right, I think we've waffled on enough with a little bit about cross training, but essentially, get out there, get running, run strong, run free, but also cross train if you so desire.
Yeah.
And know that cross training is helpful to your running, and it is good, and and it's to be embraced.
And most of all, have fun.
Have fun, and that's the thing. Like, embrace it. If you're going to cross train, embrace it and enjoy it. Don't sit there going, "Fuck, I wish I was running." Go, no, this is what I'm doing. This is, and that's what I always do. Whenever I cross trained, I became that athlete. Yep. And that's why I never lost a lot of fitness, because I didn't sit there bemoaning my fate. So, and just know cross training can be fun.
It can. It's good to experience different things. Sometimes new things if you haven't done it before. And
just different ways of getting fit. And so get out there, have fun, and keep listening to us.
Yes. Make sure whatever you do, don't swim, because you can't listen to us when you're swimming.
That's right.
So anything else but swimming.
Yes, that's right. Although there are waterproof thingies.
Are they?
Yeah, but they don't. I remember that was 600 years ago. I bought some and they really didn't work. They didn't even work once. But I have heard other people have tried buying them even recently and they still don't work. It's a bit of a pipe dream, I think. All righty, enough. We keep waffling. Stop it, Ron. It's your fault. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. So why don't you bloody shoot us some ideas?
Yeah, that's
there we go. Yeah. So we can talk about what you want. All right. Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.